something, something. Let's see if it's fucking bird this shit. Wheels on the bus go round and round. Look at that. That's actually a fucking pretty good mirror. I've seen some games where they just don't exist. Alright, we picked up this person. Let's turn around. Live server where you just drive the bus around like fucking hilarious. Wow. Touring now of the ArmA 3 Mods Expo. Starting on the right of the bus, you're gonna have a couple of tanks. Actually, quite a few tanks. Over there, you're gonna have a bunch of T-72s. These are mostly from Cup. Actually, all from Cup. Look at them. Look at the fucking model. Look how beautiful they look. And you even have an Abrams tank in there. They got a couple NATO tanks. You're gonna have a helicopter. The Huey from German part, or Bundeswehr. I don't know how you say that. You have a Russian truck. You're gonna have a chief, or not a chieftain, a Challenger 2 in the back over there. Warrior in desert camo in the back over there. The Challenger 2 has a winter, obviously. Here you have an MS G28. Mobile MGS 28, 128 with a 105 motor gun. You're going to have some Air Pakistan vehicle, or plane actually, and an Su-34. Continuing along, we have even more vehicles, which the amount of vehicles here is astonishing. Some of them are repeated. That right there is a black something? Black Tiger, I believe? I don't know. Since I'm Secret Service, I'm going to put this away and come up to this. A Black Shark. Black Shark. Car 50 Black Shark apparently is what the Russians are going to. We have a old version. You can tell by the older style missiles and the more rounded nose of a Hind. We have a Huey here. You have a couple of other vehicles over there, which is great. Then on the left of the bus are two amazing vehicles. The first one being a Mi-17, which I mean is a just phenomenal vehicle, phenomenal sort of troop carrier and light vehicle carrier. I say light, you could probably lift a tank with it, but I mean this thing here is just wow. You can actually look in there, not, you can see, I believe you can get in the passenger seat here somewhere. Let's go ahead and highlight. navigator seat, which is just horrible. Looks like you have a bombardier seat actually somewhere. Radio operator mechanic. Oh. I believe this vehicle is specifically specifically what do you call it? Only vehicle only. Which, given its size, this probably it's comparable to an AC-130. Obviously, AC-130 probably could hold more in terms of weight due to efficiently it can hold more. Plane flies more efficiently than a helicopter. Well, depending on the use. If you're just going from airport to airport, then plane. If you're going helicopter, if you're going to a specific spot. Here you have all the same aircraft with different variations of, so that's all rocket pods. This is a wing. This is all anti-aircraft missiles, and I don't know. Then you have all bombs, which is great. And then you have an SU-25 Frogfoot Tiger, Tiger, which just is amazing. Coming over here, you're gonna have the Pakistan Army and Pakistan units, which you have the T-34-85, T-55, and a guess what? Guess what it is? Can you guess what it is? I can't tell, but you probably can. Is that a T-90? No, it's a T-72. You have a Huey, and I'm going to call it a Huey. I'm just not going to say the name of it. It's just too tiring for me to remember it. It's not a long name, I know. It's just, you have even more units, another T-55 over there, which is, I'm going to be honest, I would buy a T-55 in real life if I had 50 grand. And yes, it does only cost that much. Well, I mean, just a tank. Shipping, on the other hand, is total different cost. Speaking of the T-55, you know what? Let's just take it over there. Or not. Yeah. Here we have the Pakistani insurgents, Sullivan. Obviously, I'm actually cutting out a lot of things here. You see there's no sort of guns, emplacements, again, to emplacements, like that. Here you have some UN helicopters. Obviously, UN is basically somewhere those nuts up. And then you start getting to the US stuff. And the rest of this, all the way down, is just US Army. Not US Army, but US military. Starting with some anti-aircraft, which is the Avenger, which amazing, just wow. I believe somebody sits in that somehow. You do sit in this. Well, I'm not going to be getting in every vehicle, which hopefully I don't. Then you have the M113 VADs with the 20mm machine minigun on it. Well, 20mm Gatling gun, not really mini, is it? You have your Bradley here with the anti-aircraft missiles. Then you start getting into the Strikers, which, I'm going to be honest, dude, these are amazing. You got, with these two, you got your Striker with the slat armor, which is designed for an RPG to hit this, detonate, and then sort of explode away from the hull. That way there's distance for the RPG to cool. RPG is a shaped charged shell, which It explodes, turns into a sort of liquid metal of some sort that's generally has a high melting point, or a pretty high melting point. And then that'll melt its way through the armor and just go in and fuck everything up. So having that explode out here gives it time to cool off before it hits the hull, causing it to harden, preventing it from actually melting through the armor. And here you have the, what's over there, the MGS 128, or M1128, M1128 MGS mobile gun system, which has a 105 motor anti-vehicle gun, I believe. I don't know if it's anti-tank, but obviously if you want to destroy a car with it, you probably can do that. And then you have some more variations of the Striker. You have a medical version. I don't know what the difference is here, but something. Then you have some anti-tank guided missile versions, which are probably kind of cool. Seen a Striker in real life, they're awesome. They really are. Then you have just some more vehicles, APCs, general infantry fighting vehicles, more fighting vehicles. Jesus Christ, you have fighting vehicles all the way down. So you got your Bradley, without the extra armor, and then you have Bradley with extra armor. By extra armor, I mean oblique and explosive reactor armor, which is the panels you see on the front. Versus here, it's kind of got some side armor added on, but not really. That's just sort of side skirts that are normally there. You have even more versions of the Striker. I'm gonna be honest, dude. I love the Striker, but I'm not that much of a fan of it. There's too many versions of it. Then you have some artillery. I don't know what these are called, but you guys know what they are, and I'm not very interested in them. If you want to see them, post a comment. Say, hey, go fucking shoot that artillery. And I'll get in an Abrams tank and fucking shoot at the artillery, not go shoot the fucking artillery at an Abrams tank. Alright, so getting into just cars, you got your General Humvee, just unarmored. You could probably buy a used Humvee for, I don't know, 5 grand, 10 grand, maybe in good condition, well, in great condition, probably 20. Then you got your versions of it that have extra armor, then not extra armor, then fucking tow missile, and I don't know what that is. Not medical, but what are you? Oh, UAV. Then you have a UAV terminal thing. Then you have, these type of vehicle, MTBR or MTV or yeah, MTBR. Basically a transport vehicle. Then you have some more vehicles here. You got the fastest Humvee ever built, and the transport version. Getting into, I believe this is a U.S. helicopter, U.S. Army helicopters. The rest, all these U.S. units so far are U.S. Army. And they're just in Cup. I haven't even gotten to RHS yet. So, you have basically a Little Bird. No surprise there. Everybody's seen a Little Bird from the movie. You have an Apache. This one has all the weapons taken off of it. I just, because you can put infinite amount of combinations of weapons on, well, whatever, just kind of infinite. You have another Little Bird, just, to prove the point, Little Bird. You got CH-47, and you got what I think is cool as hell. You have the Special Forces helicopters that have the fucking mounts on the side that shoot shit. I mean, these are fucking awesome. That's the DAP helicopters. I don't know, direct. I actually don't know what DAP stands for. Then you have your other type of Little Bird, which you can land off of, which you've probably seen in, I don't know, probably a movie Or maybe a video game. Modern Warfare 2 oil rig. Got more helicopters. Jesus Christ, yeah, just fucking shitloads of helicopters. I think this might be the Air Force. But it's still Cub here, which is amazing. And you have a 10 with, actually, are these dumb bombs? These are dumb bombs. Wow. So you have an A10 with dumb bombs. You have an A, and what the hell? I'm trying to figure out what some of these are. You have, obviously, you got your fucking CH-47s back there, and the Sky Train or Sky Coda or something. I don't know. Basically, that's a vehicle transport, which is cool. You got your A-10s, obviously, which are very cool. Then you're starting to get into the U.S. Army tanks. Yeah, so those are U.S. Army. And then you got your M1A1? A1. You have your M1A1, which is kind of cool. I'd prefer the A2, but you know what? I'll take what I can get. And then you got your M1A2. I believe these are just M1A1s. No, these are M1A2s. With the Tusk, which is just a tank urban survival kit, which is supposed to add, there you go, adds a little thing back here, adds some more side armor to go back to the RPG thing, the cage that you find on the strikers. It's supposed to detonate the RPG farther out, or any shaped charge round. It could be high explosive anti-tank, anything. Then you get to, finally, you get to the Marine vehicles, and not all these are Marine. It goes about halfway down from here. I decided to start cutting out a lot of shit. I probably could have cut this out, but this is the marker I left for myself. So you got this vehicle here, which is great. It can go, you know, it's the Avenger. It can go anywhere where there's roads. Then you get to these vehicles, which are iconic from, if you've ever played any Battlefield ever. No, that's not strictly true, but if you've ever played Battlefield 3 or 4, you'll remember what these vehicles are. They were the mobile respawns, which are great, but they're the LSAC, or I don't know, AAVP7/A1. And this one has a gun on it with a, well, not a gun, it has a turret on it with a grenade launcher and 50 cal. This one does not. I believe it also has a 7.62 on there somewhere, but I'm not going to look for it. Then you finally get to what I think is probably one of the coolest vehicles, the LAV-25. I don't think the LAV-25 gets enough recognition. I think that if I think it's really sort of underappreciated a little bit, but then again, you know, it's just hasn't been ever used ever, because for some reason we developed the Striker, then we have a command version of the LAV, and Marines for some reason get motorcycles. Don't ask me why. They do, but they don't ask me why. They get some MWAPs, of course, which main use of these is actually just to clear IEDs out of the road. Obviously, you got your woodland versions of things, Humvees and other crap. Then you actually have some boats back here. You have a RIB, I believe, RHIB. Then you got UAV versions of it, which that one is a target. And you got your little Zodiac, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, if you look there and there, you see that they are indeed designed to be IED, that's what you call them, IEDs. You can move IEDs from the road. You got your Marine sort of versions of the DAF helicopter. You actually have your Marine UAV, which is kind of cool, great. And you got your Marine fucking CH-53 back there, which is a fucking beautiful helicopter to see flying, it really is. I've seen it at air shows a couple times. It's beautiful. Um, Black, you know, you got your Marine Greyhawk, I believe is the term. Then you got your Super Huey, which, let's be honest, who can who can who can resist that? And still, in the Marine thing, you have your older Marine sort of, what do you call this? The thing here. I don't know. Oh, the name will come. You know, I'll just fuck it. The Harrier. You got the Harrier too, actually. It's yeah. You got your Marine Harrier, which is iconic from some movies, obviously. Then you have the newer, you know, vertical takeoff and landing jet to replace the Harrier, aging Harrier, might I add. The FB-35, no, not FB, oh, fucking F-35. Fucking goddamn World of Tanks, you got me fucking saying FV and everything. Then you get to the Osprey, and you got a couple versions of the Osprey. I just spawned a few of them. Well, these two. One, this is just the transport for infantry, and that one is transport for infantry, but has a rear gun, so you can play like you're in Battlefield 3 in the one mission, co-op mission actually. And then you have your M1A1s for the Marine Corps. They do have the M1A2s for in Cup for the Marine Corps, but I mean, it's not really there. Yeah, and I believe the Marines only operate the M1A1. I mean, the only difference is really nothing. It's just armor, a little bit extra armor on the M1A2, and a package. See, equipment package. Not equipment. Electronics package. It's different. Then you get to the U.S. Air Force, and this is the marker for the U.S. Air Force. Right, security forces. That's not the U.S. Air Force. I'll get to that. U.S. Air Force, this is literally 4 units out of probably a lot. Alright, and U.S. Air Force, you got 2 versions of the helicopter, and you got 2 drones here. You got your Global Hawk and your Reaper. Coming over to this now, you can look at it and be like, what the fuck is that? And I know, it's massive. That's a destroyer. No, it's a frigate, sorry. Not a frigate. Or, sorry, not a frigate. Damn it, it's not a destroyer, it's a frigate. Fucking hell. Same over there. Same one. I don't even know why I spawned 2 of them, but I did. And, yeah. Just take it all in, you know. Lot of units, and there's still more to be spawned. I want to actually go look at some of the some more of the U.S. Air Force ones. So go to USAF and just look at the list of planes. I'll just start spawning them out. You got your that thing. You have your AC-130, and you have a different version of the AC-130 for some reason. I believe that the Spooky 2 does away with a gun, I believe. I don't know. They do something with it. If we want Lancer, and then you got a B2 Spirit, and then you got a normal C-130. And you got a C-17, and then you got even more versions of the Osprey, which will actually spawn here. I believe that one of these has missiles. Got all the different fighter jets, the F-22, the F-35, the F-16. Then we'll come over here, you got your shadow tanker if you want to refuel in midair. Then you got a for some reason, a British version of the AC, of the, not British version, I know it is. I got you. It's over your command control center, I believe. Then you have possibly the biggest airplane in the world, but definitely the biggest in the U.S. arsenal, the C-5 Galaxy, which, when in the sky, actually bears a striking resemblance to the C-17. Just looks like it's further close to you because of how big it is. Look at the inside; it is just fucking massive. The front of this folds up. And that's not really it. I mean, you could probably fill this whole thing up. I mean, if you look at this, I mean, look at this very quick. I mean, there's even more versions of the Abrams, even more MRAPs, even more helicopters. Even more cars, even more artillery. There's even special cars that, like special units get. There's even special boats, specially designed helicopters. Everything is there. This is RHS though. Starting to get into it. I mean, but you have every type of vehicle. Look at that, and then look at that, and then look at that. That's sort of the same thing. Never mind. Your M1A1, and then you have your M1A1 Tusk, and then you have your M1A2 Service Extension Program, and then you have your M1A2 Service Extension Program Tusk, and then you have your M1A2 Service Extension Program 1 Tusk 2, which adds ceramic plate onto the sides of everything for some reason, because ceramics. Then you have your defense company thing, and you accidentally fuck up the M1A1, M1A2, and then you have even more vehicles, and you have basically anything in the world that you want.
Hey, midnight, man, down to bed.
Alright, man, thank you for fucking up my video. Fuck it. I'm not editing. Edit. I'm not fucking editing. Fuck you, YouTube. And then you have even more everything, and then you can put even more mods onto that, which attach and connect to the specific vehicles, which can attach to this vehicle and give it the ability to lift other vehicles, and it's just fucking amazing. Although, as far as realistically using every vehicle here, yeah, good luck. You will not be able to use every vehicle here probably within a year. In a reasonable use. I used it to drive somewhere. No, that doesn't fucking mean reasonable. Reasonably use it for its intended purpose. There's just too many vehicles here, and you go back to the United Nations, fucking everything. You have an SUV, which I was driving earlier, but you didn't capture that because the fucking video recorder was like, nope, I'm gonna be drunk and not work, and I don't know, for some reason. And you have just everything in the world that you could want. But, speaking of that, I should probably show you how to fucking blow up shit in a boat. I'm not gonna do that, actually. I psyched you. But without further ado, oh, that's a weird thing to say at the end of the video. Without further ado, goodbye. You know, that'd be weird. But basically, and you I could probably, I wish I could save this right here and just drive through it. Because it's just amazing. And a lot of these vehicles do have interiors. Some of the tanks don't. But obviously you can see the interiors of them. You can see the interiors of other vehicles, stuff like that one. They even showed you the interior of the, what do you call this? What the fuck is this called? I don't know. And, damn it. We put this bumper so low. But basically, you know, obviously a lot of tanks do not have interiors, which is kind of normal for ArmA. Some of the RHS tanks do have interiors, and I mean, if you want an interior, if you're a tank unit, I would go, you know, find a mod with a tank that has an interior. I know quite a few. Burns makes pretty great interiors. Granted, the exterior suffers due to it, but it has to, otherwise you will not be able to run. That's fucking, you know, you'll spawn the vehicle in and everybody will crash out of the server because you can't fucking run it. So, keep in mind, quality may not be a good thing all the time. And I'd love to go in depth on every single vehicle here, but I can't. So, you even have, you know, sort of semi-accurate aiming on the, judge the sounds for, you know, yourself, obviously. From all of this, then, you know, you're doing something wrong here, dude. As the 4 ships trapped the one inside, he began to sink. I mean, no, but seriously, if you can't create fun, obviously you probably should not be playing ArmA 3. If you can't create a story for yourself, then you probably shouldn't be playing ArmA 3. But if you can, or if you're willing to try, the tools are all there. It's up to you to go play ArmA 3, and this thing is loud. Speaking of accurate engine sounds, oh, I don't want to close our. I don't want to close this. Damn it! I want to go back into it. Here we go. Go to RHS and tank. That model was broken apparently. Didn't look broken earlier. I mean, you even have these Armed Forces of Russian Federation. Didn't even get to these. Didn't even see them. I missed them. Oh. Gas, everything good. Okay, apparently not everything. Wow, you really do have a lot of things. T90 here. And that's kind of actually realistic. The Russians sort of didn't want to go with the T7. They didn't want to go with the T80, which the RHS has the T80. I would never recommend spawning it. Even if you're facing it, I wouldn't recommend spawning it because it's basically a T90 that's way more expensive than it needs to be. But even, look at this, look, turrets. Put on anything. Turrets. L111A1, which is just actually an M2 running. For some reason, British needs to name it something special. Got aircraft to deal with, get that vehicle. Or not vehicle, but that thing. Alright, so back to tanks. There we go. On the gun barrel, there's usually some sort of inscription. For some reason, that's doing that. I don't know if that's just something that is doing. Apparently, I think that's just, I don't know. Like this vehicle here, the real one, I believe, can go in the water. I'm not quite sure actually how. But you know what? We'll come back to that. That's things like the BTR 90 where you actually get a full interior. Look at that. I don't know how accurate it is because I've never been in a BTR. Granted, I assume it's pretty accurate. Go to the passenger seat. How silly is he doing? Oh, he's nice. He's very nice. Commander seat. manual fire. I don't want to cancel manual fire. There you go. Turn out. Yeah. So all these wonderful vehicles. You can't create a mission with this, then you, sir, are not trying hard enough. Alright. I sort of just rambled on about this, but I did sort of prove my point. Just look at that level. There's basically an infinite number of possibilities that can be created with ArmA 3. That is just units. That's just units. There's probably 100 or so maps. 100 or so maps that you can use. I mean, this is just Candira, and there's two versions of it. There's one covered in snow and one covered in not snow. Not whatever summertime is. Yeah. I'm on point today. Can't fucking speak English. There's desert maps like Takistan that they brought back. There's Zargabad, which I believe is I don't know if they created that or whatnot. And they're even making more maps. Obviously, there's a DLC, but some maps are not DLC. Like, you know, obviously, all the mods are free. Everything here you see is a mod. Hell, even what I'm wearing is a mod. Minus the sunglasses and the belt. Which actually seems to be hiding perfectly. This gun is a mod. My things I should have are mods. Speaking of guns, let's go look at the guns. I mean, they make everything. AK-47, and they even put the proper and mount stuff on it. Kind of. What the fuck? Even have PSO skips on it. We have RHS. This icon here is RHS. This icon here is cup. This, where there's no icon, that usually means there's no mod. Great thing about RHS is each individual weapon is modeled very beautifully. Cup is more of a port, but it's, you know, there's still some things like that Challenger which have been created. This thing, which is, I've seen a CZ and realized that's a beautiful rifle. It really is. You got everything here. This is RHS. Community upgrade projects and Red Hammer Studios are great mod designers, and I can't give them enough praise or thanks or really anything. They have done great on everything. Cup, I like the diversity of weapons, sort of. We have more types of weapons. But RHS, I love how, you know, you come down to M4 or M16, and you know you can get any kind of M16 you want. M16 carrier handle, M203. This M16 A4, and then M16 carrier handle. You know. Whereas I like how, you know, with copper you can go and you can get M16 A2 and then an M16 A4. Really a bad example. Looking at the M4 is probably a bad idea. Where with RHS you have every single design of M4 that have slightly different variations, which is cool and all. This one's my favorite. But with cup, you have, you know, very, very similar, but you have different, you know, styles, like desert. then you get all these types with RHS. Overall, I mean, they're both equally contributing to two things. One, making ArmA 3 better, and two, improving the lifespan of ArmA 3. Had ArmA 3 not been allowed to get mods, I can guarantee you this game would not have lasted this long. Got the Mark 11, which, I'm gonna be honest, is a great gun. It really is. Mark 48. And then you get into the scars, which, I don't know, I'm probably pissing somebody off by calling them a scar, but I'm gonna be honest, it's a scar, dude. Just call it that. Scar H is 762 NATO, and then Scar L is 556, obviously. They moisten the gaunt, get everything, dude. You can basically get every gun that is in use in general military service in countries that are sort of known for having, military quarrels, I guess you could say. Not really fighting, but sort of fighting. Russia, for instance, that's why there's so many AKs, so many of these things, which, to be honest, I am a fan of the Dragunov. I really want one in real life. Yes, VD. I mean, but Cap goes, and gets, weapons like this, which, granted, they are, they do exist. I have seen them. They're not mass-produced at all. I mean, I don't even think they made it past the prototype stage because the military looked at them and said, "Why?" But it's still, the fact that Cup decided to put it in is great. Then you have more mods like, let's go look at these. I can't go up. Even more mods like Ace and everything else, which make it even better. Starting to lag out here. That, yeah. Yeah, when ArmA 3 was first made, that you got a beautifully modeled Leopard 2, well, basically a Leopard 2, actually a Turkish version of Leopard 2, with a different camo scheme, but, obviously I get it. Red Hammer, or not Red Hammer, BI Studios, Bohemia Interactive Studios are obviously, they're hard at work. Obviously they're trying to release planning to release the new Jets DLC fairly soon, which is gonna be awesome, by the way. And I'm actually pumped more for the sensors. More for the new sensor idea thing than I am for the actual jets. Which, I don't know, call me weird, but just, jet's cool. New sensors, way better. That means the tanks are gonna be more realistic. Just look at the amount of optics you can put on a rail. They're fucking loopholes. Have you ever wanted an ACOG that goes into a night vision sight? Me neither, but for some reason it exists. And I really think that, this is probably a great... I'm not giving it the greatest game ever yet. That award, I don't know if it can be given, especially in 2017. But had it looked at, have it been like this on release day, yeah, greatest game ever made, or whatever. This isn't even a site you can get yet. It's amazing. Then look at the rail attachments, which come back over this side. Look at that. Laser light, da-da. Any color, just a flashlight, any color, midlight, whatever. Russian versions of it. And you get suppressor if you want. And that's, you know, that's just your primary. Well, your rifle. Then you get everything here, which my favorite here would be the Maz. Then many different types of handguns. Obviously, you saw me earlier with the micro Uzi and God, and then you got basically you can make infinitely infinite. You can make it's basically you can do anything you want. I'll just load up a couple of kits I've had. You know, go here. You know, look, wow. You know, look at that guy. That's a Marine. And you could look at this guy and say, wow, that's also a Marine. I'm very creative, right? Sorry. And then you just go to anything that's not a Marine. There you go. There you go, Army guy. Something, whatever color. And you can go be a pilot. You can go be a marksman with a rocket. For some reason, you can go be a recon guy. You can go be anything you want. I think ArmA 3 gives you that sort of infinite possibilities. That really is how great it can be. That ArmA 3, you can do quite literally anything you want. Well, sorry, not really anything. Obviously, you can't go to the fucking moon, but if there was a moon to go to in ArmA 3, you could go to it. ArmA 4, I hope you just have the whole globe. I hope computers are able to reach the power necessary to run it. To be honest, I speak for probably 98% of the ArmA 3 player base. Graphics like this, alright. That's all we need. That's the maximum we need. Okay. This is that's the minimum. That truck is still ugly in real life, so I mean I can't blame that. But my point here is, if you make it simple, especially like the 272, you can make a lot of them. Actually, better design would be a 234 85 or 255 actually. Make it simple, you can make a lot of them. Make it complex, you can only make a few. And I think that stands because there's like 100,000 255s built and only 8,000 M1 M1 types built. And I say M1 types, I mean M1, M1A1, M1A2, and every variation that has Tusk or service extension program or whatever. So, yeah. simplicity sometimes is better. Hope you guys have enjoyed this sort of rant slash look at everything that you can put in ArmA 3. I really do. Because this is just... I've even covered civilian units. There are quite literally just too many units to talk about here. I would love to just sit for hours and talk about this, and then go to this tank, or this vehicle, so you go model or vendor, and talk about this, and then go to the, fucking, just go right on to the next for, spend an hour on each. I'd love to do that, but I can't. There's just too many. That's why I'd love to open a tank museum, that way I could just write out fucking papers on each individual vehicle. Alright. Hope you guys have enjoyed this one.